Alrighty, so as you can tell, I'm now at a different hotel, and unfortunately, I couldn't find a desk in this hotel room, so I can put this board right onto the table because the only table that was offered me in this room is basically now using to hold my computer, and also the lighting of this room is not very good. There's actually a lamp right next to me, but for some reason when I try to turn it on, it doesn't work. So yeah, this is gonna have to do in terms of this very badly quality kind of preview, and that's just kind of the life of me when I travel on the road. But that being said, today I have to do the preview of the two playoff game that is happening tomorrow, and I got to remind myself that now that I'm in Central Time, I should not be tuning into this game as early as 4:30. I have to tune in a little bit later, and that includes watching my Quakes team take on Sporting KC, and that is kind of a late kickoff. It's an 8:30 p.m. local time kickoff, which is the time I'm in right now. But we start off with the first game, which is the New York Red Bulls versus Charlotte FC, and I almost forgot that this is, of course, the preview of these two wild card game. The winner of that will be taking on the number one seed in the first round. And in the first matchup between the Red Bulls versus Charlotte, this game, of course, starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific. Now, in terms of the all-time meeting, 2-2-1 in favor of the Red Bulls. And in terms of the regular season meeting, well, the Red Bulls and Charlotte both draw in their regular season meeting. It was a 2-2 draw that both of these teams play against each other, and then it was a 1-1 draw between both of these teams in the regular season meeting. Now, in the other free meeting, it was the Red Bulls winning 2-0 against Charlotte before Charlotte winning 2-0 against the Red Bulls. And then the only other meeting happened in the U.S. Open Cup with the Red Bulls winning 3-1 in that U.S. Open Cup match. Now, obviously, I know many people will say, well, it doesn't really matter who wins this matchup because whoever wins this matchup is just going to have their season extended only for them to get their ass kicked against FC Cincinnati. But still, don't tell that to both head coaches. I'm pretty sure both head coaches want to win. They want to continue in this journey in the playoffs because, as the old saying goes, in the playoffs, anything can happen. And especially if you're the Red Bulls, I mean, I think if there is a team that needs to win this more out of both of them, which I think that's kind of ludicrous for me to say. But that's kind of something that I hear some people say. Well, maybe if there's a team that desperately need playoffs, even though it's a playoff game, both of these teams needs to win. But if there was kind of that saying, I think the Red Bulls needed win this more mainly because they cannot be losing to another team that is making their first appearance in their franchise history for the second year in a row. Like they can't do that again, especially at home. But we shall see if that, of course, is the case. We'll see if Charlotte can maybe pull off a bit of an upset. And also, it's going to be interesting to see how the attendance is going to be in this game because if there's one thing I know about Red Bulls game, and especially midweek Red Bulls game, and also last year, looking at what happened in the first round of the playoffs in that game against FC Cincinnati that the Red Bulls play, yeah, the attendance was not good whatsoever, and I don't think the attendance is going to be good for this game either because I don't think you can convince a New Yorker to basically go to this game on a weeknight. Never the less, and even though it's kind of a winner and you move on to the next round, yeah, I'm and also I think I won't blame some Red Bulls fan maybe staying away considering they're ready to get hurt again, and that so metro moment could potentially happen. We move on into the later game, which is the Sporting KC versus the San Jose Earthquakes. Now, this, of course, is the rematch of the 2020 playoffs that we saw a couple of years ago, and what a game that was. I mean, I still remember that game, still remember when Chris Wondolowski scoring that equalizer to send it into extra time, while Sporting KC fans were very upset the fact that the referee didn't blow the whistle, even though we went way past the 5 minute of stoppage time and Wando scored like in the 7th minute, and then only for the Quakes hard work undo because they can't score a penalty kick. I mean, Tim Melia was an absolute wall, which is why I think in this matchup, I mean, if you're the Quakes, and I've heard Quakes fans have said that Luchi Gonzalez are just kind of playing for draw. And I'm not sure if he's going to do the same thing in this game too, because yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot of hope when it comes to the Quakes and the PK show, especially when it faces against Tim Melia, who's considered to be one of the best PK stopper in league history. But nevertheless, in terms of the all-time meeting, 31, 12, and 28 in favor of Sporting KC. Now, in the regular season meeting, it was kind of interesting because both of the result was 3-0 in favor of the home team. Sporting KC won 3-0 against the Quakes, whereas as the Quakes win 3-0 against Sporting KC. But remember, when the Quakes beat Sporting KC early this season, that was a very shorthanded Sporting KC team, and that was the team that won on that massive skit to start the season. Now, in the other free head-to-head meeting, it was a 1-0 win that Sporting KC had against the Quakes. It was a 1-1 draw that the Quakes had against Sporting KC, and then a 1-1 draw that the Quakes had against Sporting KC, which is not something that you usually see happen often because Sporting KC, when it comes to playing against the Quakes, they've always got the Quakes number. In fact, the last time I remember the Quakes beat Sporting KC was all the way back in 2015 when they won 5-0 against Sporting KC, and that is definitely going to go down as one of the greatest road wins that the Quakes have ever had in franchise history. But yeah, nevertheless, in this game, I mean, again, I don't give a lot of hope for the Quakes in this one, and especially how good Sporting KC is at home, and especially down the stretch too, where Peter Vermees team does well, and the players are not going to just completely stumble in the first round. And not to mention, as I mentioned before, how the league desperately wants Sporting KC to win this, because if Sporting KC win this, then it sets up that match with them and St. Louis City. And whereas the first round matchup in the Eastern Conference, where many people don't really care because whoever wins that playing game or this wild card game in this instant probably is going to get their ass kicked against FC Cincinnati. You can't say that about Sporting KC and St. Louis City. That should be a mouth-watering matchup. That might be the best matchup that we'll have. And sorry, Columbus and Atlanta, but in terms of the narrative and just the craziness that it's gonna bring in terms of these two rival facing off in the first round playoff. Yeah, the league really desperately wanted that, and in order for that to happen, the Quakes, of course, they have to be act as sacrifice. But we'll see. We'll see whether or not if the Quakes can shock everybody and can label that they can actually win on the road, because another thing that this team has not done a lot this season and really in recent time is they haven't done well on the road, and they still have not won a playoff game since 2010. It's been 13 years since the Quakes have won a playoff game, and I don't think that streak potentially is going to come to an end in this one either. But there you have it. That is pretty much it for the preview of both of these games. Tomorrow, of course, I'll be doing the review. I'll probably do the review of the Sporting KC versus San Jose Earthquakes game first, because that's the game I'm gonna watch. Mostly. I mean, I'll probably still be out when this game is happening, so I'll probably watch the replay of this. But I'll definitely be watching this one. This one, I will be definitely back in the hotel in time to watch this one between one of my team probably is going to get eliminated, and the reason why a lot of Quakes fans are saying getting that draw against Austin is probably the worst possibility, because yes, they made it to the playoffs, but now they're probably going to get their ass kicked by Sporting KC and let the management pretend that hey, they made it to the playoffs, so it's going to consider success, only for them to once again fail in the first round of the playoffs. But as always, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of both of these wild card round games, and let me know in the comments below your prediction for both these wild card round game, as the playoffs for the 2023 MLS season is about to begin. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys do like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, of course, we'll see you guys next time.